let's get into the NFC East. All right, this is the first of our, divisional segments. We're going to touch on each one. We've each went through the schedules, and we want to give you our predictions for where the teams will be every year now, because this is year 2 football season for us. We'll, at the end of the season, go back, check all of our predictions, and you'll get to see whether or not we were right or wrong. All right, I'm going to start with your Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, it's going to be a good year.
That's what y'all say every year.
It's actually going to be a good year this year for a lot of different reasons.
All right.
Okay, looking at this division, I think the Cowboys are going to win this division at 12-5. Okay, I have their 5 losses. You ready for this?
All right, let's hear it.
I think they lose in week 1 at Tampa Bay.
Oh, yeah.
I think they lose at Minnesota in week 8.
Okay, I had them losing that game too.
I have them losing at Kansas City in week 11.
Same.
I have them losing at Washington in week 14 and at New York in week 15.
Wow.
I think they lose a couple divisional games late, possibly due to an injury, perhaps. I don't know. That's after that Thanksgiving stretch. But overall, finish strong and go 12-5 and win the division and make the playoffs.
I had y'all winning that Giants game.
I'm gonna. There's always a fluky loss in the division, right? I think the Washington team is really good.
Agreed.
I think they'll split just because they're good. I think the Giants will split not because they're good, but because something fluky will happen. Someone from the Cowboys gets hurt, or Saquon just goes off, or something like that always happens in divisional games. So that's where I'm at with the Cowboys. What do you got?
All right, so I had you all going 8-10, maybe. Sorry, 8-9. 8-9. I had you all going 8-9, maybe 9-8. But I had it 8-9. I think you all are going to be better than last year by far, just by the,
health
of it all. But I also thought you all would take a couple more L's on your schedule, not because you all would be a bad team, but because I think these teams have things that kind of will trouble you and play into your weaknesses. I think you'll also take the L at the Chargers week 2, and I think you all will start the season 0-2. I think the Chargers are a much, much improved team than they were from last year, and I honestly expect that Justin Herbert comes out the gate on fire.
So the question I have, it sounds like you do not have the Cowboys winning this division.
Mm-mm.
Who do you have winning this division, and what is their record?
I have the Washington football team winning this division at 9-8.
Oh, despite the fact that no teams won back-to-back in this division since 2004.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
I think that this is a situation in which this team has gotten significantly better.
What about quarterback?
Look, I get it. Fitzmagic is Fitzmagic. He's also Fitztragic. But what I do know is that this Washington football defense is fantastic and will only get better this year. B, that I think their overall offense has upgraded significantly. Just the wide receiver core that they have now is significantly better. They have 2 guys, like real guys, on that receiving core now. Still have a decent tight end, great running backs, and a bunch of them. And I think this is a team that will play pretty strongly, right? So some of the key, let's say, wins that I have them having, right? Because I don't think their schedule is really all that hard, right? Like, I think they'll... What's up?
I got a question.
Okay. Okay.
Based on what you said, and
yes,
I got some things.
Yes.
So, looking at who you have, Cowboys and football team wins and losses.
Mm-hmm.
If the Cowboys are 8-9 and the football team is 9-8, if there's a 1-game difference, the Cowboys win the tiebreakers based on how you have wins and losses.
They play each other twice. I think they split.
Right. I'm saying if there's any other NFC game that they both play, a common opponent that changes,
yes,
that you're wrong about, the Cowboys win the division.
It's very possible that, like, if the Cowboys win one more game than I thought, because I think the Cowboys would be 8-9, I think the Washington football team would be 9-8, right? They should just get it outright. But if the Cowboys win one more game, then yes. I
just want to establish that even with your calculations, it's one
close.
Game difference.
It's close, yes. It's close.
Okay.
It's close. But I'm not saying that I think you all are generally a pretty average team. Last year is an aberration for you losing so many games, but generally you all are an 8-8 type team. So historically you all are average.
Let's get to the rest of the division.
Okay.
I think we would probably both agree on who's going to be in last.
The Eagles.
The Eagles. Okay, fantastic. So where do you have the Giants finishing?
How many games did you have the Eagles winning?
I have them winning about 7.
I had them winning 6.
Okay.
I had them winning 6. I had them going 6-11. I don't think they're going to do all that well. I think the Giants will actually be decent. And I also think the Giants are another team that might go 8-9.
Yeah, I think the Giants, if they put together their season the right way, I think my division breakdown will be Cowboys win the division, Washington 2nd, New York 3rd, Philadelphia 4th. I think with the expanded regular season and expanded playoffs, there's a chance New York could slip in if they have a really good season as a second wild card, but it's very unlikely.
Yeah.
NFC East probably gets 1 team, maybe 2.
I agree. So, yeah, the New York Giants, I think they'll do actually quite well. They'll go 8-9. I think they'll start the season kind of rough, and they will kind of hit their stride later on. That's something that we saw last year. Joe Judge seems to be actually quite good at coaching, and what he was very good at is just making adjustments and getting them better each and every single game. And I feel like they might start slow, but they'll end up being relatively good. I have them beating the Broncos in week 1, the Falcons in week 3, then taking about 3 straight L's until they see the Panthers for another win. They also beat the Raiders, the Eagles, the Dolphins, the Eagles again, and I think they will sneak the final win against Washington.
I'll say this, though. If it's tragic happens and Daniel Jones actually develops into a good quarterback, I have the Giants at 2nd.
I think that's very possible. I think that's very possible. I think the overall team for the Washington football team is better.
Yeah.
And I currently trust Ron Rivera more than I trust Joe Judge, but that's not a knock on Joe Judge.
It's an experience, but
yeah,
we'll see. We won't know the results of this until New Year's, basically. So keep it locked. Remind us about this. Will my Cowboys win the playoffs again? Hit us in the comments. Who do you think is going to win the NFC East?
Whew. Yikes.